The cystic fibrosis community is invited to participate in a series of videos and podcasts on individuals that are living, breathing, succeeding with cystic fibrosis. With the help of today's therapies, cystic fibrosis patients are now living longer and achieving more than ever before. This podcast, College Life and CF, is made possible through an unrestricted educational grant from Genentech to the Gunnar Esiason Foundation. Today we will meet Gunnar Esiason, who is 19 years old with CF. He is a sophomore at Boston College, majoring in English, active in intramurals, and compliant with CF.
Well, living in a dorm is definitely something that every single American should have to go through.
Living with Gunnar isn't different than living with anyone else, really. You just have to be careful to be a little bit cleaner, keep everything, nice and neat.
My roommates they all know what I'm dealing with. They're all very supportive of me. We all get along, and if someone does ever get sick or something like that, we can deal with it. I feel like everywhere in the dorm we have Clorox cleanup or Lysol spray.
Gunnar told me early on last year, and I actually knew about it. I had a friend who had a cousin who had it, so I knew about the illness beforehand.
Usually I try to keep it as simple as possible when I'm telling someone. I try to just say, I've got a respiratory disease. It's called cystic fibrosis, and I really just kind of leave it at that. And, it's actually surprised me how many people do know about it or have a connection to the disease. But there are people who have no idea what it is, and, they'll just accept it, and they're like, oh, okay, cool.
Living with Gunnar, I definitely have a better understanding of, what a CF patient goes through on a daily basis, whether it be the treatments or just everything that comes with being a CF patient.
Doing your nebulizer in front of new people, I think that's a very important fear that we all have to get over. I'll just sit there and start doing it, and I kind of look at it like, if you're living with me, you got to deal with it, because I'm dealing with it every day.
He does them twice a day, so it's become pretty much regular in the room.
We'll be playing video games, he'll be doing his treatments, you don't even notice. We're just all become so accustomed to it that it doesn't even faze us.
Then living with me makes me feel like I have a little bit more normal of a experience where I'm living with 3 people this year. It's not just me living in the single, isolated from everyone else.
We do everything together. We go out, we play intramural sports together. We go have lunch together, we make dinner together.
We do like to actually have sit-down dinners. The 4 of us will all cook dinner, pitch in, and then we'll all sit down around the table and eat dinner, and then we'll clean up after.
You can't tell at all that he has cystic fibrosis. The only time, you're really reminded is when he starts coughing or if he's doing his treatments. But otherwise, you'll be playing flag football with him or hockey with him. You can't tell anything's wrong with him.
There's a lot of free time in college, and intramurals are a great way to fill that free time. It definitely beats going to the gym because you're doing an activity with other people, and it's competitive. It's a lot of fun. It reminds me of, playing sports in high school. It's a good way to keep the lungs moving, and that's the way we stay in shape. One of the most important things that I found when I got to school last year was finding a routine that worked for me in terms of getting up, making sure I take all the pills that I need to, antibiotics, vitamins, whatever, and then making sure that I get on top of my treatments early in the morning and get them out of the way. So I try to get to bed by 12 or 1 every night just to get 9 hours of sleep. In terms of compliancy, there's no way around it. I think if you want to enjoy college and have a good time, you have to be compliant. I make sure I'm doing my treatments twice a day, both routines. I realize that if I don't do them and I slack off and I'm out partying or whatever, I'm going to be sent home, or even worse than sitting in the hospital, which is, no one wants to do that. You'd rather be enjoying college. Everyone loves college. You only get to do it once, and you don't want to screw that up. Well, if I do get sick, the first thing I do is call the doctor back home, or my parents talk to them. We figure out a plan. I do have a doctor at Boston Children's, which is only like 10-15 minutes away. So if I needed to go get seen there, just call and make an appointment. It's very easy to do. That was always a plan when choosing which college I want to go to, was if I could have a doctor in the area. If I'm not feeling great, I feel like I have a cold, maybe not a CF-related issue, I can just go home for the weekend. It's only 3 hours away. And then if I really do feel sick or feel like I have an infection, or if I need to go on IVs, then we deal with it. Whether I have to go home and stay home for a week before I can come back up, or I can just go home, put the PICC line in, deal with it at home for a couple of days, then just bring the PICC line up to school. I mean, I've done it all. There's really no correct answer to that, but it's whatever the patient feels comfortable with, I guess. And I think that was something that I had to learn, was that, you know, I can be comfortable with having a PICC line here at school. I can be comfortable with getting sick at school. It happens. No one's gonna just be healthy forever. I mean, 70% of the student body now has a cough. So, you know, everyone gets sick and everyone deals with it. I love it here. It's nice to be on my own, kind of not have my mom or dad breathing down my neck, even though I do get a phone call from at least one of them. It seems like every other day. And it also makes me feel, I guess, more normal that I'm able to go out and enjoy college, you know. The experience of college itself is, I think, just as important as the degree. You know, if you do SCF and you are planning on going to college, I would say definitely do it. There are fears that normal people do feel going to college, and with CF, there's a few extra questions that are added on, and I don't think there's any reason to hold yourself back. I think every person deserves to have the college experience, and you know, really, there's no reason not to go. You should move away from home for a few years. You should learn how to take care of yourself. You should learn how to be independent, not rely on the doctors or anything. You just gotta be yourself, be your own person, and you have to prove to yourself that you can take care of yourself. And it may be tough, you may fail, but eventually you will succeed, and you will enjoy college.